Scottish politics looks rather different than it did this time last week. The Derek Mackay story has caused the SNP a short-term media headache and the Scottish Government a medium-term ministerial portfolio dilemma. But it has also created a concern amongst some that there may be long-term damage inflicted on the SNP and the independence movement, with more problems than they are accustomed to simmering malevolently. Mackay. Salmond. Schools. Hospitals. Ferries. This is emphatically not a government in trouble. No party polling consistently above 40% after 13 years in government, and certain to emerge from the next election as the largest party, can credibly be said to be in trouble. But it is a government enduring a period of policy and internal difficulties the likes of which it has not seen since it replaced Labour as Scotland's party in 2007. The Scottish Tories are hoping that difficulties turn into crisis, and crisis turns into defeat. They have a vision, a hope, that the Mackay story, next month's trial of Mr. Salmond, and anything else which emerges now that the media has the scent of sleaze in its nostrils, could create a narrative which might just turn the tide against the SNP. One can be sure that nothing else will. Whilst some Tories see the perceived mounting doubt over the SNP's domestic record as a route to power, most realise that it is nowhere near sufficient to eject them from office. If the SNP is to lose in May, the chances of which are slim and none and, as they say, slim left town, it'll be a personality issue, not a policy one. What a backdrop for the Scottish Tories' new leader to take office on Valentine's Day, with the top task to avoid a unionist massacre in just over 14 months. Barring an upset of Leicester City proportions, that new leader will be Jackson Carlaw. Mr. Carlaw is a highly accomplished politician who has acquitted himself well in both of his caretaker stints. He is personable, excellent company in private, and his decency carries into the public sphere, where he treats opponents with a level of respect not entirely replicated across the Parliament. But he has a ruthless streak, as we saw at First Minister's Questions last Thursday when he went for the First Minister's jugular on Mr. Mackay. He may need that ruthless streak, for he will enter what may quietly but suddenly become the most important year the Scottish Tory party has had. For whilst the party may be attracted to a campaign based on the perceived policy failings of the SNP, in the real world, and in real politics, there is only one issue at the Holyrood 2021 election, and that is Indyref2. The Tories' strategic positioning on a second independence referendum is highly likely to be the key determinant of its success at that election, which would be fine but for one thing, they can't agree amongst them. For more on this story, visit the news article link.